I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Jason Eisen, the CEO and founder of UTU. Jason, welcome to the show and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I'd love to kick off our time together by just having you briefly explain your background in digital assets and in tech and what has been your focus up to starting UTU.
Sure. Yeah. So I got into this world back in 2013, I guess. Had been a consultant previously for big donors like USAID and World Bank and all those guys, and had started spending a lot of time in East Africa in 2010. And I fell in love with East Africa. I saw tremendous opportunity and this incredible energy in this early tech scene that was kind of just on the cusp of becoming something amazing. And I was hooked. I had this idea to start, at the time, the first taxi app anywhere in Africa. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. And 3 months later, I quit my job and moved to Nairobi to do that, and realized pretty quickly in the process of building that company that we were solving the wrong problem. We were basically solving the same problem Uber was solving, which was, how do I get a taxi? And that wasn't the problem anyone there had. Everybody had the problem, how do I get a taxi that I trust? And we started getting obsessed with this question of trust, and how do you define trust in an environment like this, where there's not really strong institutional trust, but interpersonal and social trust is incredibly strong. And so we ended up building this socially powered taxi app and building some pretty cool AI to optimize for trust in a very human way. And we went deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole of trust and trying to build the kind of most perfect trust system that we could. And that led us to obviously decentralizing it. And we started down that path in 2018, taking this kind of feature that we had started in our taxi app to build trust in that case. And in 2017, we started turning that into what we call trust infrastructure for the entire internet across all sectors and geographies, and started decentralizing it, coming up with the token concept. And it's really been taken on a life of its own since then. So, yeah.
Very cool, Jason. And that's great that you are working on a project and then you find a specific problem or a little hole there, and all of a sudden that turns into a gigantic business opportunity for you and your team, and a whole nother business in itself. So that's really cool.
And you could say we kind of found our calling in the process of building that mobility business, and we still run that as a subsidiary. But myself and my co-founder Bastian, he and I are really focused on building the decentralized trust future for the internet.
Very
so it's
cool.
been a great journey of discovery for us.
Great. And can you just elaborate a little bit more on exactly what is UTU's value proposition? How does it work, and what makes the platform specifically unique?
Sure. So our concept is trying to bridge the gap between how people trust in real life and how they're asked to trust online. So if I ask you like a really easy, simple question, who do you trust? I can probably predict your answer. You're going to say something like, I trust myself, I trust my family, I trust my friends. Okay, well, some of my friends, sometimes, for some things, right? And yet online, you're asked to trust based on totally different things, like 5 random people that you've never met, that you have nothing in common with, that you probably don't share your biases, your preferences, and maybe they're not even real people. Maybe they're bots or paid reviews or the owner's brother. But according to those 5 people, this babysitter has 5 stars on the babysitter app, and you should just go ahead and leave your 5-year-old with him or her. And we thought that was kind of crazy. And we said, well, what if a different system? Imagine if you went to that same babysitter app and there were 55-star ratings for one sitter from 50 random people and 1-star rating from your sister. Would you hire them? And most people say no. We say, well, what if it's 500 good reviews and 1 bad one from your sister? People still say no. So the idea is that one piece of data, one validation point, is actually far more powerful than any number of aggregated, anonymous data points to convey trust. And so that's what UTU focuses on, is trying to understand for you as an individual, what is that 1 or 2 data points that we can show you descriptively, not us telling you like this is who you should trust, but putting the right information from the people you already trust in front of you at the right moment, at the right time, at the right place, in the right way, for you to be able to make whatever decision you're faced with online, to take a transaction or not, to hire this service provider or the other one, that you can make that as comfortable and safe as possible without fear that you're being scammed or ruined. And there were really, if I can just kind of tie it into 3 core problems of trust, is really the model has been broken for digital trust. It's all been about this like universal score or one size fits all, highest number of ratings, best rating. But that's just not how trust works. It's highly subjective. And so moving from that kind of universal to a dynamic approach based on the individual is a key bit. The second key bit is that we move it from being a product, like something consumer facing, to being infrastructure that is built into the platforms that we're already using, which not just makes it a better user experience, but it also makes it immune to fraud and manipulation, which all the other platforms struggle with. And then the third problem is that the economics of trust are broken. That right now there's all this economic incentive for buying fake reviews, for manipulating trust, and there's no economic incentive for building trust, for helping someone get a good outcome from their transaction online. And so we wanted to change that and basically eliminate the way for people to buy trust, but allow people to be able to earn from building trust.
Yeah, that's super interesting, Jason. And I agree, there's definitely a difference between trusting somebody in real life and trusting some Amazon reviews or any numbers that are just you see, because it's all seems to be, the potential to be manipulated. And part of this solution is implementing blockchain and having that trustless factor where you can trust the chain. But and we can talk about that technology, but I believe you're using a bunch of different technologies to make all of these decisions on how to determine how much trust there is. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, algorithms. Can you talk about the blockchain side, but also all of the other technology that's needed to put together?
I can. You'd probably be more interested on another video maybe to hear our CTO talk about it. He can talk about it in great depth and detail. And I can just say that we're building kind of cutting edge techniques in machine learning for trying to optimize for trust, especially in low data scenarios. And we're also building some pretty revolutionary stuff on the blockchain side in terms of oracles, the interchain operability, and kind of we've had some staking model in our protocol even way before the DeFi hype and any of this. So there's actually quite a lot to say on that, but I'd actually I think it's more interesting and relevant just to keep the high level concept of like what we're trying to deliver for an end user about better trust. And so honestly, all that tech, we try to make it as like invisible and transparent as possible and focus on like really magical user experiences, breaking out of kind of what you had said earlier. Like a lot of that's the legacy of eBay and what they gave us in the 90s, pseudonymous 5-star ratings and open text reviews, where you're keying in something, but we're not on our computer anymore. We're on a phone. So why don't we update even the format in which we share feedback? Like hold your phone in front of your face, record a selfie. How much more compelling is a video from a friend that's on the blockchain? You know that this video is legitimate, recorded by this person about this service, and there's no bullshitting around that. So just trying to make the whole thing super transparent and accountable and get rid of all of the manipulators.
Definitely. And I think that's a great answer, Jason. And keeping it high level is what brings adoption as well, right? Because you don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car. You just want to get in there and go, right? And use the technology. And you don't have to be a developer to understand how the trust factor works, as long as you see it in action, and that makes total sense. And I think part of that is why you guys have grown so quickly, and it's the platform is doing well so far. And I saw that you recently closed a fundraising round of 1.4 million. So congratulations to that. Could you talk about some of the investors and the partners that you have alongside your group that are helping you grow this quickly?
Yeah, we have amazing partners. We have just closed some different funding, different amounts, but we've had amazing partners for this journey since the beginning. You could say one of the first institutional investors that really believed in us was Zeroth AI out of Hong Kong. We were the first African company that they took into their program. From there, we got in with the SoftBank Group with their Deep Core investments. It's their early stage AI fund, and they've been absolutely incredible and supportive over the years. Other incredible groups like Animoca Brands out of Hong Kong as well, the blockchain gaming company, and Eternity Ventures, the blockchain out of Europe. And recently, we've been very fortunate adding some really amazing strategic investors like Genesis Block Hong Kong, DuckDAO, OneBlock, Moonrock Capital, Kenetic Capital. And so really Brilliance Ventures, a number of great kind of investor partners, backers. And then we also recently announced some pretty cool technical things like partnership with Elrond. And actually just today we announced a partnership with Travala.com.
Congrats. Yeah, and that sounds like some great partners. And I think they probably share the same vision as you and your team. And, this is something that is going to be the next version of trust on the internet, and done the right way, Can you...
That's our goal and nothing short of it. Trust is too important to leave it centralized. And even if we have the best intentions, look what happens to the companies with the best intentions over time and market forces. The best way to protect digital trust and have a benevolent system for everybody for the long term is to decentralize it.
Definitely. Now, can you talk about where exactly you're at right now and what your goal is for the next year or so as you continue to grow?
Sure. So we have quite a number of different things going on. We have this network of mobility businesses all over Africa that's starting to scale quite nicely. And we're also supporting a number of fintech platforms around East Africa and also starting in Southeast Asia with Shuttle One. And we have this new partnership with Travala. And so there's quite a lot of building and pushing product into the market that's going to happen. You'll actually see our DeFi sector product, our Credit Trust Oracle, coming out in the not too distant future. Tonight, in a couple hours, we're listing on Uniswap. So it's an exciting day for me. For the whole team, in fact, probably the whole UTU community. But I think really what to look for is lots of partnership announcements of companies building on UTU, integrating UTU into their products, into their platforms, and kind of this revolution of digital trust starting to take shape and people reclaiming all that data and putting it in their service instead of in some corporate overlord service.
Yeah, that's great, and congratulations on the Uniswap listing tonight. And that will be out by the time this video is out. So that's great to hear. And I guess as you continue to grow, what do you see as some of the key factors to the success of the adoption of UTU?
Yeah, I think the big success factors are focusing on our core value of trust and transparency, fairness, and living those values. And that if we can be a really good example as a company of how to be trustable, it doesn't undermine our product. We have to be so careful dealing with trust. How do we behave? We have to set this example. So it's living those values and building the right team. We're very proud of the very diverse team that we have, and we're about 45 people across the company and across the group, mostly based in Kenya. Our second largest group is based in Nigeria, but we have people kind of all over the world. I think continuing to bring in all sorts of different perspectives from all over the world is probably the best thing that we can do. After that, it's focusing on product and focusing on delivering a really seamless, simple, kind of magical user experience around trust that people never really thought that they were missing until they have it, and then they can't wait to use nothing but.
Yeah, wow, that's super interesting. And is your team looking for more partners or testers or community members right now, and how can they reach out and find out more?
Yeah, for sure. We're always looking for any platform, any person, honestly, that's interested in digital trust, that wants or recognizes trust online as a problem and wants to be a part of the solution. We can find a way for you to contribute to the project. If you're a platform, for sure, please approach us and come build on UTU. We're expanding our ecosystem kind of constantly. The best way to reach us is probably on Telegram, t.me/UTU Trust. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Jason. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and all the best with UTU moving forward. And I will leave those links to your community in the description box below for all the viewers. And let's follow up in the near future.
Thanks a lot, Ashton. Really great to chat with you.